The previous video I made about the dandelions that erupt right after my brother mows the lawn reminded me of something I have talked about before, and that is the romantic idea that there's some sort of consciousness among plants. Okay, plants do not feel pain, and plants are not conscious. I think we can say this with confidence. Pain evolved as a mechanism to let an organism know that it needed to move. Plants are stationary. It would make no sense for them to be able to feel pain. Hence, they can't do anything about it. They can't move. And that's basically what pain is for, to tell you to move, to get out of the situation that's dangerous. Okay, so therefore, at least physically, they can't suffer. Now, consciousness is an ambiguous sort of thing. There is evidence that plants do learn, but this is, it's all a kind of reactive learning, like with Pavlov's dogs. Dogs are conscious, but there's no evidence that plants have any sort of proactive thing. Plants, in some sense, communicate. They're complex organisms. They're interesting organisms. And they're alive, but they don't know they're alive. They don't contemplate that they're alive. There's no awareness of any sort. I don't think there's an awareness even in a very, very primitive sense or very simple sense, because there's no evidence for it. And it really doesn't make any sense for them to have it. You would have to have more advanced more advanced mechanisms than they have. I think that over the time that they've been here, they probably, they evolved learning capacity, but a computer can be programmed to learn. And I think plants have been programmed by nature to be able to learn in reaction to their situation. But I don't think they could do anything to anticipate a situation. Anything that indicates that they think. Okay, I'm not an animal rights activist. I don't believe that animals have rights. And I'm certainly not a vegetarian. I'm a very heavy meat eater. But this whole thing, what about plants? As some sort of way of sticking it to those people, really should be dropped. Because, plants are not in the same category. We really don't have obligations to plants. They can't suffer. We have obligations for plants because they're part of our ecosystem. They're part of the earth. They're a vital important part of it. I mean, the earth wouldn't exist. Life wouldn't exist without plants. And they're fascinating and beautiful. But, and we can love them, but they can't love us back. We can learn a lot about them. They can learn some things. But, as far as thinking or consciousness, it's hard to prove a negative, but there's no evidence for it.